So, can people actually hear me now? Probably not. This is... Oh dear. So, can people actually hear me now? You can hear me! Oh my god! Yes! You can hear me! Okay. This is good news. This is good news. Oh god, YouTube. Oh. Well, that's it. Thanks for the stream. I'm going to bed now. I'm tired. Oh god. Yes, that was relatively painful. It works. It does. It works. Oh my god. That was yeah. So, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Now, I do apologize. You're probably going to hear screaming in the background. That's the children just being children. We didn't manage to get them in bed in time. The volume is really low. Oh, if it's done this again, I'm going to thump something. No, it shouldn't. No, is it really low for everyone? Are we You're hearing me crystal clear. Okay, so some people are hearing me crystal clear. I'm looking at the device and I must admit it's not exactly... Well, it's not thumping at the top of its lungs. I can see that. I'm definitely not going to be getting any distortion. It is fine. Okay, everything's perfect. All right. So, thank you for joining me, guys. How many people do we have? Let's check. For some odd reason, I had a bit of a, I don't know, issue. It decided to make the stream public, which, you know, was not exactly the idea. We now have, is it 30? I think we've got 30 people viewing. I can't actually see my viewing numbers because of the way I'm looking at this. You guys might actually be able to see the stream better than I, which is probably going to sound strange. I heard you from the other room when you started. Oh, do I need to be quiet? Is that what you're saying? Huh? Okay, corner this, it says one person watching. Oh, that's the other stream. That's the other stream. It's really, really strange. Yeah. The way this thing does. Right, I've got 46 people watching now. I can see that. If I go to that page. All right, you know what? We're fine. We're looking good. Everything's looking good. We've been live for 3 minutes and you guys can hear me. It's really weird. I've got no sound. I feel like I should be playing music or something. I feel like I should be... See, I've got the chat up, as you can see. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at on my screen. I'm looking at the chat. In fact, you probably can see better. The delay is even bigger than on Twitch. Right, the delay may well be bigger than it is on Twitch. It may actually be fairly large. YouTube really just does not seem to have its act together. Play me the sweet tunes of your people. A little Ramstein wouldn't hurt. Yeah, I'm not totally sure it's legal, especially on YouTube. Probably the only way I could actually do this would be to do something along the lines of... If people want music. People want music. People are very demanding. Well, you're the patron, so I guess you are entitled to be a little demanding. Let's have a look. I can play YouTube music. Oh, what's it doing with this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. That's... I'm just checking there wasn't any information there. Mind you, this is only for patrons anyway. Yeah, it would seem we had this... Oh, that's my son arguing with his mother. He's going to be in trouble soon, very probably. So yeah, we can have a little bit of some classics like that, if it would help. Probably have to keep the volume a little lower than normal. Are you getting that? I do hope so. Skyrim music, yes. I'm going to reduce the volume a little, so it's just nice and easy. Yes, that's the little Dovahkiin. My son is... yeah. Morrowind soundtrack. I'm not totally sure I'm allowed to do that. Did it just post a 1 minute 25 video of the mistaken stream? It might have. I hear no music, but I hear you. Oh, I know why. I know why. Yes, I do. Give me a second to... There you go. That's what it is. That's... If you want music, we have to go full screen, yes. So anyway, it is only about half an hour late due to all the technical issues, which is a shame. So now you're getting it. Let's turn the volume down a tiny bit. It's probably going to drown me out, that, isn't it? Spring. It is in fact spring here. So, I checked my records. It has been 467 days since the last Patron Q&A, which means I have been neglecting you guys horribly. I am a terrible... What's the opposite of a patron? I am patronised. I'm a terrible host. Yes, I am. Almost a year and a half since the last Q&A stream with you guys. So, I do apologise. I do apologise for, being such a terrible person, seeing as I should do this. I thought I was going to do this every few months. Every few months, just have a quick stream with you guys, keep in touch. But you know how busy it's been. You know how busy it's been. So, there you go. Right. Just to give you a quick update, obviously you know I just got back from Italy, did the whole Witcher event, and I got the preview video out today. What else has been going on? I got Far Harbor, but I have not started it yet. And I've not got on the Xbox mod testing beta. There's a mod testing beta and I didn't get on it. So I've not been able to upload my mods and test them out on Xbox yet. So that's probably the latest news for this week. Reading the chat. Only slightly horrible. So, how was your 17th of May celebrations? It was stressful. It was stressful. 17th of May is the national day here in Norway, and it was ridiculously stressful. It always is with 3 kids. marching, and Italy, on the other hand, was awesome, yes. Italy was incredible. I gotta say, I didn't think CD Projekt Red could outdo the event they did in Poland, but they did. They really did. The only downside to it was we just didn't get as much time to test the game. When will there be a Mass Effect Morrowind Oblivion playthrough? I don't know. Probably after Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, all the Fallout 4 DLC, probably another Skyrim playthrough, Witcher 3, and what else is on the list before that? I can't even imagine starting a new playthrough of anything on my main channel for the next few years. Because we've got Skywind, so that's gonna be a. I don't know whether that's coming out this year. It might be out this year, although I've heard rumours it may be next year. There is going to be Beyond Skyrim coming out, so I'll be checking that out. But realistically, with Fallout New Vegas, I've probably got at least, I'd say at least 3 more chapters there. At least 3 more chapters, potentially unlimited numbers of chapters, because you've got New Vegas Frontier coming out, and you can take your character over to there, so I don't know, 4 chapters, 5 chapters of Jack. We've got Far Harbor DLC for Fallout 4, plus I haven't even finished the mainland. I have not finished the mainland for Fallout 4, probably not even done half of it, so let's say at least 2 more chapters right there. There's going to be at least 1 more expansion pack size DLC, 3 more chapters in Fallout 4. And I haven't finished Witcher, and let's face it, Witcher's probably going to take me another year, Witcher 3 another year, and that's without doing Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. So let's just say Witcher 3 is probably going to be going on for another 2 years. Is the music a bit loud? I thought so too. I'm going to turn it down a bit. So, I'm answering questions that appear minutes later. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is YouTube for you. This is YouTube. So, from the point of view of Let's Plays, there's so many things I want to do. There's so many great horror games that have come out. So many of them I'd love to do Let's Plays of. I actually have a bit of a thing for horror Let's Plays. I really like doing them. I really like playing horror Let's Plays. And I want to do a lot more. But it's time. It's just such a complete lack of time. If you think about it at the moment, I'm doing between 6 and 7 Let's Play episodes per week. And the 2 games I've got going are fairly important games for my channel. Fallout New Vegas is also important. I think the Jack's Let's Play is just, well, that's personally very important for me as well. It's just insane. Less Witcher, more Fallout, please. Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's going to say the opposite. Would I do Beyond Boulder Dome for Jack's playthrough? Why not? Add another chapter? Yeah. The big problem with the horror Let's Plays is I love doing them, and I think they get really well received, but they don't get many views. They really don't, which is a shame. But I'll do them anyway, because I'm going to play them. It really is a matter of time. I try to do one of them every now and again anyway, and break up my Let's Plays. And I have to say, this time things are a little, let's face it, one track. It's Fallout and Witcher at the moment, and that's because The Witcher is such a large game. I'm even thinking of doing a chapter break in The Witcher 3, maybe doing a couple of month break, which may sound insane. I'm going to spend well over a year doing half the game and then take a 2-month break and carry on. I don't know. But, you know, Witcher 3 is probably my longest running series ever. Tomorrow's episode will be 120 episodes, all in one chapter. Even Fallout 4 only managed 107. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Outlast 2. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Fallout is so boring that even your superpowers are not enough. Well, my Fallout videos are my most viewed ones, so they can't be boring for everyone. Are you going to do a lot of Overwatch? Yeah, but that's going to be streaming. That's going to be free time stuff. That is going to be free time stuff. And so yeah, look, with The Witcher, I am thinking about taking a break when I finally leave Skellige. I don't quite know what point that will be. The only thing is it might be one of those cases of, you know, when you go back to the mainland, there's not a lot left to do, so a chapter break would be kind of insane. I don't actually know. But Witcher longer than Jack? Oh god, yeah. The longest chapter we've had for Jack was 54. I think it was 54. 54 episodes, and that will be the first chapter. And there were 2 chapters of Jack that were so close together that there was no break. There were 2 chapters of Jack that did run kind of concurrent, one after another. So there was no break there, but the 2 of them put together still doesn't even come close to like 60 or 70. I tell you, taking a break in The Witcher is less about me being bored of it, because I'm not bored of it. I'm pacing myself on The Witcher really, really nicely. I'm in way more danger of getting bored of, say, Fallout 4 because of the amount I played that just to get through it, although I'm not close to that either. But with Witcher 3, I've been pacing myself really, really well. And it's kept my energy levels and my interest for the game constantly at a high level. So it's every time I sit down to play it, I'm looking forward to it, I'm enjoying it, and I've got no urge to rush. I deliberately set myself a goal with The Witcher 3 to never think about an end point or even break points, because I just wanted it to unfold naturally. Whereas with Fallout, I do tend to look at wanting to take regular breaks. And in putting other things in, I think it's good for the channel to actually have occasional things, even if they don't get many views. The occasional horror let's play, I think, just creates a little zest, something in the mix, if you get what I'm saying. There's not exactly many interesting characters in Overwatch. God, I love the characters in Overwatch. I think they're awesome. But again, that is not a game I will have on my main channel. That's going to be my free time stuff. Where did Jack end? Wasn't he on his way to drive in a cinema? Yes, Jack had this great idea to build a cinema in Prim. So yes, he may need some equipment. All right, Mary, you're at a birthday party. Yeah, well, you're actually watching a live stream chat whilst it's a birthday party. Yes, go and enjoy yourself. Does anyone think Gopher sounds like John Oliver? No, you are way too American. Yes, if you think we all sound as... John Oliver, I believe, is a southerner, maybe even London. And no. Has Fallout 4 script extender updated? Can we finally get the iHUD mod? No. You'll probably know immediately. Once Fallout 4 script extender is updated, I will probably go dark for a few more days again, and you'll see a few videos being skipped and an apology by me saying, I'm sorry, I'm working on iHUD. Why do I think The Witcher 3 has so few views per video, relatively speaking? I think Witcher is more of an acquired taste. And The Witcher is more about The Witcher, whereas my Fallout New Vegas Let's Plays are more about my character, Jack, for example, or Richard, the story I tell. So the people who watch my Skyrim and Fallout New Vegas series are people who want to see the story I'm weaving for those characters. And I think there's just slightly more of those than there are people who want to see the Witcher story. Because the Witcher story, I know it's my Geralt, but let's face it, it's still the Witcher story. It's not mine. Oliver is from Birmingham. Told you, he's a southerner. So they call themselves Midlanders, but they're southerners. It's almost France. Really is. The music ended. Yes, it did. You want more? My God, you want more? Let me have a look. Let me find some more music then. Okay, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. What other hobbies do I have besides game-related stuff? None anymore. I used to have quite a few hobbies. Some of them would surprise you probably, but I'm afraid not anymore. I don't do anything except family stuff and game-related stuff now. Minecraft music, yeah. Hasn't your Witcher 3 Let's Play been far more successful than any of its Witcher predecessors? Oh, absolutely. Witcher 3 is a more popular game, and I think people find it more watchable. So, any collaborations planned in the future? Yes, probably. I'm open to collaborations with pretty much everyone. I enjoy doing collaborations, so... Will more patrons get into the XCOM? All can't fortunately make the streams. Unfortunately, I'm not getting my people killed. It's terrible, isn't it, to say unfortunately. We've got a few patrons. I've placed in. But yeah, there's not that many people getting killed. I anticipated there being a lot of people dying. The next game I play through, we're going to crank up the difficulty and take some of the new options. And... yeah, that could be more devastating. Might go through a lot more people that way. You've been liking my Barry playthrough. It's absurd and amusing. Yeah, I must do that. I must get on with that, actually. Did I hear anything about further modding for Witcher? No, I don't think it's a priority for CD Projekt Red, and honestly, I don't blame them. I've got to say, I tried to get into Witcher 3 modding, and I couldn't do it. And it's not that I didn't think some of the mods were great. The ones I'm using, like Friendlyhood and the harvesting, the auto harvest mod, brilliant mods, very, very useful. Probably wouldn't want to play without them now. But there are so few mods I actually want to use in The Witcher 3 because honestly, it's not the sort of game I get the urge to mod. All round, it's close to perfect from an interface point of view. Again, with Friendlyhood, once you put Friendlyhood in, the graphics are awe-inspiringly good, the gameplay's interesting, it's difficult enough whilst not being completely obsessive, and it just doesn't feel like it needs any mods. I really don't feel like it needs any mods at all. So, yeah. Let's try something else. Needs to get a Gopher face rig. Yes, yes. Thank you, Paul Krebs. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to get more modding tutorial type videos out. I really see those as a core component to my channel, but Fallout 4's been a little bit lackluster because they were so late with the modding tool. They were so late with Creation Kit. It's been 6 months and we don't even have a script extender. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that we didn't have a Creation Kit. So there's been, I don't know. There's been very few things that need a tutorial. I might do a tutorial on something like the body slider and some of the other more complicated mods. But I really was... I kind of had it in my head that I was going to start off with a Fallout 4 script extender tutorial. But then the full version's not come out yet. So it's... you know... I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but it's happening so slowly that I'm a little disappointed with how Fallout 4's gone, not just as a game, but the modding. Maybe console mods will reignite it. Obviously, I'm not going to play on console, but it'll reignite the whole scene, and when the scene gets reignited, maybe the mod authors... but they'll make far more complicated mods. The Fallout 4 script extender team will finish their mod. We'll start seeing a lot of stuff that needs tutorials. The sort of thing that I kind of love doing. Body slider, CBE. Yeah, I don't mind doing it. Look, I would never use CBBE, you know that. But I've got no problem, you know, installing the body slider, testing it out, and then making tutorials for it. It's kind of funny. Kind of enjoyable. You can't play evil in Fallout 4. You see, and this is the big problem. What else? What else did we have? That music sounds sinister. What? How's my solo playthrough of Dark Souls going, if you started yet? Yeah, I'm probably only, I don't know how many chapters I'm into it. I've almost finished the Undead City, which I think is the first main area. I've done 2 or 3 bosses. It's going well. It's, you know, it's just something I sit down and play for a few hours here and there. I'm finding it relatively straightforward. I think a lot of people overhype how difficult Dark Souls games are, and I've not really been having any trouble whatsoever in Dark Souls 3. The interface is so much nicer than it was in Fallout 2, although, my God, I can't believe they really still screwed up the inventory menu. How do you screw up an inventory menu on a PC game with a mouse? I don't know how you do that, but they did it. They've done it. They've actually screwed up an inventory menu. The inventory menu is so clumsy. It's staggering. The implementation of it with the mouse was created by somebody who has heard about mouse. They've heard about the concept of a mouse, but they've never actually seen one in practice. It's bizarre. It really is. I'm quite weirded out at how badly they failed things like that in that game. However, the core game is actually pretty good. It's surprisingly well done on PC with mouse and keyboard now. So what have we got? So basically, ignore all dialogue and mute the voice, then it somewhat works. They don't know PC gaming, they develop it for PlayStation. I don't mind them developing it for PlayStation. I just don't know how they can't convert the menu to work on a PC. That I just don't get. The music's very low, isn't it? Yep. When can we expect the vlog footage from Italy? You had it. It was I included some of it in the announcement for this stream. What was my starting class in DS3? Oh, the Knight. I just picked the Knight. It seemed to be the simplest one. In your opinion, why is there no karma system in Fallout 4? Because everyone hated the karma system in Fallout 3. They got pretty hammered about the karma system in Fallout 3, and if you remember in Fallout New Vegas, they totally removed karma, and which was a good thing in my opinion. They replaced it with factions, and I think factions were a much, much better idea. That's going to get really loud. So, yeah, karma. I don't see the necessity of karma, so its removal from Fallout 4 is good. What was bad is the fact that there are no factions. Not really. There's no faction rating system. What's the difference between a voice protagonist in Fallout 4 and Witcher 3? One succeeds and one failed. What's the difference between the voice protagonist in Fallout 4 and Witcher 3? That's pretty easy to explain, although it takes some time. The voice protagonist in Witcher 3 works because you're playing Geralt of Rivia. You're playing an established character with an established background, an established voice, and an established face. You sit down to play Geralt of Rivia. The entire story has been written around Geralt of Rivia, and he has one job. He is a witcher. He's got very little choice. He could be a more combat-oriented one or a more sign-oriented one, but he is Geralt the Witcher. There is not a huge amount of freedom in The Witcher 3 when it comes down to the character, and indeed the story. You actually get usually 2 choices in most stories in The Witcher 3. You can do A or you can do B. And it does have an effect on the game, and it feels pretty damned epic. But on the whole, The Witcher 3 is about travelling a tree. and it's relatively easy to control, and they've made the cinematic scenes work because the Geralt character is so established that even when they give you choices of things to say, they all suit the character. So you can say something very, very aggressive, and it works with Geralt because he sounds kind of aggressive even when he's trying to be nice. Or you can say something nice, but it still works because he sounds like he's trying to be nice, but he's just not very good at it. You've got a very narrow range of things that you can do with the Geralt character, and that gives them a lot of freedom to create very good dialogue, very good cutscenes, very good cinematics. The more freedom they give the player, the less freedom they have to express their own vision and story. And CD Projekt Red are absolutely superb at bringing the character to life and telling the story they want to tell, through the game. Fallout 4 seems to be trying to do that because when it comes down to it, the main protagonist, seems to be a nice guy. And even when you try to be a complete asshat, you fail and end up being a nice guy regardless. You just end up being a bit of a knob about it, basically. But you don't really sound like an evil guy. So it's like they've tried to go for a cookie-cut character, the way you've got in Geralt of Rivia. And I hate to call him a cookie-cut character, but because he's not cookie-cut exactly. He's a very specific character. They've tried to do that in Fallout 4, give you a fairly specific bloody character that works for one type of playthrough. But that's just not what people wanted in Fallout 4. And indeed, Fallout 4 is not really good at telling that kind of a story. If you think about Fallout games and you think about Bethesda games in general, they don't tell a single story well from beginning to end. They allow you to take over and create your own story. And, that is the difference. That is the difference. One game, The Witcher, was designed from the ground up, from the very first Witcher game onwards, to be that type of game where you play a single character who's voiced and faced. He has a face. Fallout 4 just doesn't work like that. The protagonist isn't a set character. At least in things like Mass Effect, it was Commander Shepard. There's a very, you've got a very small window in which to change the character. Fallout is not about that. Fallout is about playing completely different characters. It always has been. Fallout is like the Elder Scrolls in that it's always been about making your own adventure and choosing your own character with his own personality and his own skills, and then solving the game, going through the game, completing the quests in various different ways. It sounds more about expectations then. Yes and no, Valens. Yes and no. We expected Fallout 4 to be more like Fallout game, right? And when it wasn't, yes, we're disappointed. We expected Fallout to be more like Bethesda games, and when it wasn't, we were disappointed. We weren't expecting it to be trying to be The Witcher or Mass Effect. Here's the thing. If we'd have been expecting a Mass Effect experience, we probably still would have been disappointed. Because I hate to say it, Bethesda are not good at this. They're not. The emotional connection between the characters and the NPCs and stories in Fallout 4 is so subpar compared to Mass Effect, Dragon Age Origins, The Witcher 3. This is not what Bethesda do well. This is not what they do well. And they've created this massive open world, typical of Bethesda. They've given you the freedom to change the face so very, very much. And then it looks like almost halfway through they've decided, right, well, we started out creating a typical Bethesda game. Now let's turn it into Dragon Age. And they're just not good at it. Even Dragon Age felt like I had more choice. Dragon Age, I did 6 or 7 playthroughs of Dragon Age Origins. I loved that game. Very different playthroughs each time. it's just they managed to do it. Bethesda didn't, and it's stupid of them as well because they had a guaranteed win. They have an equation. They have a formula that works. They have a type of game that people expect. Companions in Fallout 4 were the best part. Oh, an Octium. I'd say the companions in Fallout 4 occasionally were the best part. Codsworth, superb. Superb character. No real quest associated with him. No real quest, if you think about it. The best character, in my opinion, that I've discovered, because there might be ones that I've not discovered, but again, that's still not my fault. That's the game's fault in some ways. All of the NPCs, all of the followers should be good. The other one, the one that's really good, the one that stands out is Nick. He's got a quest. So you get to know Nick and then you do a quest for him. Codsworth needs a quest, not just a series of dialogue options that unlock the longer you've been with them. And I think that's a big difference between, say, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. In Fallout New Vegas, at some point, if you got on your followers' good side, they would say, oh, look, can you help me out? I've got a problem. And then you'd unlock a new quest. That was brilliant. You don't get that with Fallout 4. If they voice mains in The Elder Scrolls 6, I might die. God, they would really, really, really be making a mistake if they stick with the voice protagonist for Elder Scrolls. McCready and Kate both have quests too. All right, well, you know, there's a chance I will pick up some of those characters at a later date. They keep saying the same thing over and over again. That is very, very true. I think the NPCs should have a larger range of comments they can make, and they should say them once. Some of the things they say in combat and that type of thing, they could repeat those occasionally. But some of the comments, you know, the Nick thing with those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it, he should say once and then never say again. Those lines should never be said again. There should be certain lines that just do not get said again because there's just no point. Fallout 4, they tried to do too much. The addition of town building stretched it too thin. I don't think they did, no. I think it's the addition of the voice protagonist and this very linear main quest. I call it linear. I know there are some choices, but with the main quest, linear is the wrong word then. A very demanding main quest. The main quest constantly demands you give it some attention. It's kind of like, well, if you don't progress the main quest, you're not going to unlock the Brotherhood, and you're not going to unlock the Institute, and you're not going to get to go here, and you're not going to discover this. If you don't do the main quest, we're going to keep a lot of the game off limits for you, and I don't like that, because all of the Fallout games and all of the Bethesda games have been, here's a main quest, and then you just, off you go, do your own thing. You've got a main quest, it's up to you. So... Skyrim was a great base for modders to enrich the entire world, the world they'd created, adding great companions and quests. Interesting NPCs comes to mind. Yeah. Would it surprise you that all the companions have at least 2,000 lines, Gopher? No, it wouldn't. It's not what the companions say that gets on my nerves. It's the fact that they say it over and over again. So... You think Fallout New Vegas was superior to Fallout 4, sadly? I would say that was a fairly uncontroversial opinion amongst Fallout fans. I mean, a lot of people thought Fallout New Vegas was better than Fallout 3. I've never really agreed with that, although I know a lot of the hardcore Fallout fans preferred New Vegas. I prefer a lot about New Vegas, but generally I quite liked Fallout 3. I preferred Fallout 3's world, and I preferred the main quest, so... Do I ever play RTS games or other strategy? Long time ago. A long time ago. And it's not that I don't like them. Again, we're going back down to time. You fear that Fallout 4 will not have the same quality mods as Skyrim because they use too long. That's my fear. That's what I was talking about with the tutorials. I have this suspicion that they missed this golden window. If you look at Skyrim, the speed at which they got the creation kit out was like 6 weeks. And the modding community was already massively in gear when they came out. And then Script Extender came out shortly after that. And it just built a lot of momentum. But I don't think it's 100% to do with when they released the tools and the fact that it felt like they've been trying to restrict modding. A lot of it comes down to the lack of an incentive to replay the game. Modding, for most people, is something that occurs after you've beaten the game once. People will use 1 or 2 mods, but as a general rule, you finish the game once, maybe even twice, and then you start cramming mods in. You think, oh, I want to play a warrior character, so I'm gonna use dual wield and yada yada yada, and this mod and that mod, and I'm gonna have a perk overhaul mod. You don't have the same incentive with Fallout 4. I've got another playthrough with Barry, who I have noticed in videos of the streams, I have occasionally called Frank, which tells you all you need to know. I will probably do another Let's Play when the PlayStation Fallout comes out, because I will need a PlayStation save as well. And I was thinking of doing a VATS melee build, because I haven't done that. But I'm only doing that because I want to test mods on those consoles. So that to me tells me people are not going to want to I'm not going to want to replay the game, and the feedback I'm getting from a lot of other people is they don't. They're going to play the DLC when it comes out, but they're not going to replay it. Now, Frank, for example, Frank has finished the main quest, he's done Automatron, and is going to do Far Harbor next. But if this had been Fallout 3, here's what would happen. Frank's story would probably end. It may have even ended at the end of Automatron. I may have even ended Frank's story at Automatron and then started a new character, survival mode difficulty, picked a different path, and gone to different areas of the Commonwealth that I have not been. I've not even been to Vault 81 or some other vault. I've not been to a load of places. I've not been to the Insane Asylum. I've not been to the Combat Zone. I've not been to the Witchcraft Museum or whatever. There's loads of places on my map I've not been to. I'd probably visit those places with a new character, doing a new path with a totally different style of character, and I might go off and do Far Harbor with him. That's probably how I would have done this. And then when the new DLC would come out, I might have another character and then pick a totally different path, a different faction in the main quest, and do the other DLC with that person. And then finally, when all the DLC was out and there was so many mod changes out there, I'd do another playthrough, this time with a character where, I probably would do the one faction I hadn't done and probably visit everywhere this time. Just that would be my last ever playthrough, and it would be like the Jack playthrough. It would be kind of go on forever, and I would do all the mods. With Fallout 4, that's not going to happen. Frank is going to go to Far Harbor next week. Frank is off to Far Harbor next week. When the DLC after that comes, Frank will go and do that. And when Frank has finished Far Harbor, Frank will go back to the Commonwealth and will visit all the places I just mentioned. Frank is going to do it. I've no real interest in starting a new character and trying to make a new story, because I don't think I can. You only have to look at the trouble I'm having making the Barry story really meaningful. People are enjoying my Barry Let's Play, partly because he's such an unpleasant character, and I think some people will actually prefer that, but also because it just doesn't work. It doesn't. And that's half the humour. Half the humour is trying to make Barry as unpleasant as possible and failing. It's like these words, you can hear the words Barry's thinking, because that's what I'm saying, and then he opens his mouth and Frank's voice comes out and says something kind of nice, and it just doesn't work. I'm going to do the same in the PlayStation playthrough. I'm going to have another character who won't work with the current dialogue system. And I'm not doing that deliberately to be a pain in the backside, but I've already decided to have a different faction ending with each of my playthroughs. One on Xbox, one on PlayStation. And so I've got a character in mind for it. It's not going to work, but it'll be funny trying to make it work in the Fallout 4 dialogue. But it's one thing for a YouTuber like me to get a few cheap laughs at the expense of a game not allowing me to play the character I want. It's a totally different thing for you playing at home to really try and get into a new character. It just doesn't work, does it? Did he say Jack is his last New Vegas character playthrough? Jack is my last New Vegas character playthrough, but it's going to go on for years. Jerry McGoolberry. Yeah, no, it's going to go on for years. I've got at least one more DLC to do with him. If I do Lonesome Road, it's going to be a short one, and it's going to involve lots of sarcasm. The other things to do are the main quest, New Vegas Bounties 3, you've got the New Frontier mod, you've got Beyond the What's It Dome, and I'm sure there are a lot of other quest mods I've not even touched. So I'd say you've got 5, maybe 6, maybe 7. I ignore Barry when he speaks and use your dialogue. Right, that's kind of what you have to do, isn't it? You kind of have to. Here's the thing, if the protagonist wasn't voiced, it wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't be so bad. But the voice protagonist just really fails. It completely fails. It's just not, it's not Barry, is it? It's just not Barry at all. Do you think there's an audience for another Fallout 4 playthrough from you? Well, I've already got an audience for the Barry one, but it's a small one because I post it on my other channel. I have a feeling that if I posted the Barry Let's Play on my main channel, I'd probably get 8,000 to 9,000 views per video. Just from people curious, mindlessly clicking. But I don't want to do that because honestly, that Let's Play does not belong on my main channel. No, it does not. I'm going to do the same for the PlayStation 1. If you mean another PC serious playthrough, maybe. But it's going to be when the modding community has managed to repair the damage Bethesda have done. So there you go. Please do a female. Well, there's the other option, isn't it? There is the other option to do a female playthrough because the voice is different. But my PlayStation character, I want to do a melee VATS character. And honestly, I kind of want to do a male character. I've got a kind of character in mind. So he's going to be called Lance Elliott. And he's going to be a melee character. So Tale of Two Wastelands, please. At least a tutorial. Yeah, I mean, there's an option. But we're talking years away. We are talking years away. I suppose I could take Jack to the. Can Tale of Two Wastelands? Would it allow me to actually take Jack to the DC Wasteland? That would be kind of amusing, although he'd be so overpowered. Survival fun, sleep to save. Yeah, if I do a... Well, no, Frank is going to continue Far Harbor, and it's going to be survival, but obviously I will be using quick save. The female voice is pretty good. My problem with the female voice is every time she speaks, I'm going to be hearing Jack. Lance Elliott is not a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service. He's going to be a melee character. Probably lots of armor. Maybe even power armor. Power armor and a melee weapon. Lance Elliott. Say it quickly. Okay. Let's have a look. What is going on? I'm reading the chat. closing the chat. Jack from Mass Effect, not from Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, Jack. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I forgot about that. The Jack character in Mass Effect 2, who was awesome. She was absolutely awesome. Possibility of another Skyrim Let's Play. Well, I'm going to do Skywind, might do Beyond Skyrim. If I was to do a pure Skyrim Let's Play, my first thought was a thief character. The worst thief ever character kind of thing. I did a warlock. I did an orc warlock. I did a librarian archer. I was thinking a thief. A thief would be kind of cool. Do you think modders like Some Guy 2000 might be able to breathe life into Fallout 4 quests? Oh, look, Some Guy 2000 could create quests for Fallout 4 that would be staggeringly good. If he could create New Vegas bounties and put it a type mod like that and put it into Fallout 4, it would be awesome. It really would, because the Fallout 4 engine is vastly superior. And, you know, it's funny, I get far better frame rate on Fallout 4 than I do in Fallout New Vegas. So the whole game feels nicer, looks nicer. I mean, it would be great if you could do that, but it's the main quest that's the real problem. Am I interested in Dishonored 2? Yes, I will be playing that. Whether I will Let's Play it is another thing. Am I ever going to Let's Play Mass Effect? I want to, but I'm not going to say I'm going to, because I've now learned from experience, wanting to do something and having the time to do something is a different thing. It really is. Skyrim is awesome, but he's burnt it so much. Right, no, Skyrim, I'm getting... Here's the thing, I'm at this point now where the only reason I'm sticking with Fallout 4 rather than even thinking about going back to Skyrim is they're releasing new content and there's going to be mods. But if I was to actually sit down and I didn't have a channel and let's say I'd actually finished all the Fallout 4 stuff and had to pick a new playthrough to start, hands down would be Skyrim. I don't care how many playthroughs I've done of Skyrim, I would hands down start a new Skyrim playthrough rather than a new Fallout 4 playthrough. Hands down, no questions asked. I'd rather do a new Fallout New Vegas playthrough. Hands down. You love the Western feel of Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, I did too. I did. I think it kind of suits me. It suits my inner nature just a little bit. So, God, we really are very, very delayed on the chat, aren't we? So yeah. Skyrim mods is good. It is. I mean, this is the thing. Here's the problem with Fallout 4. Here is the problem with Fallout 4 replayability when it comes down to it. Forget the voice protagonist, because we can disable that. Forget the crappy dialogue in the main quest, because as you said, modders like Some Guy 2000 could create superb quest mods and fill the Commonwealth with these awe-inspiring quest mods. It would be brilliant. The main quest, unfortunately, is so invasive. And that might sound strange, but in a Bethesda game, their main quests are never invasive. Their main quests are always the last thing you do. Well, for most people. I say most people. They're always the last thing I do, and everyone I've spoken to does. I've met very few people who say, oh yeah, no, I played Oblivion, and the first thing I did was go off and find Martin and then do the Oblivion gates. And I've never really met many people who said, oh yeah, no, I played Morrowind, and first thing I did was go off and do the main quest and just finish it. Yeah. Same with, with Fallout games, you couldn't do that anyway, at least until Fallout 3 and DLC came out and actually reversed your death. All Fallout games ended when you did the main quest. So, main quests in Bethesda games and Fallout games were always the last thing the vast majority of the people did. And very often, you could almost ignore the main quest Totally. Think Steve. Think Steve, main quest, never did it, showed no interest, could have, didn't even get shouts. Chapter 1, Steve didn't even get shouts. Think about that. It's in Skyrim, which had quite a good main quest, and one that really did sort of, if you wanted at least to have the shouts, you needed to kind of progress a little bit, but also the way Skyrim did the main quest felt better, in my opinion. The pacing of it. God, I was going to do a video about Skyrim pacing. I'm going to do a video, about Fallout 4 pacing of what I think they did wrong. I've actually decided not to do what they did wrong exactly, but to do what I would have done if I was the game designer for Fallout 4. How I would have got the game started and how I would have made everything work. And what I'll do is I'll do a video where I describe what I would have done. I'll also compare it to what they did and say why I think my way would have been better. But this is your problem with Fallout 4. You don't have that option. If you don't follow the main quest, you don't unlock the Brotherhood, you don't unlock the Institute, and you can see, you get the railroad. You can get the railroad without doing the main quest. But there's these two massive factions, where you get an awful lot of quests and an awful lot of stuff, and vertibirds. Okay, my son's... So yeah, I mean, the main quest in Fallout 4 is so damned invasive. You can't get to Diamond City and not have the main quest trigger. Could you give me a second? Where's Mama? Lena? What am I? Do I come with you? Oh, hi. Jag ska vara färdig snart. Lina? Jag ska vara färdig snart. Vad? Vi gick i spel. Jag ska vara färdig snart och hjälpa dig. Okej? Jag kommer snart. Oh dear. Yeah, my kids, it's way too late for them. So, Fallout 4 is for people who want to beat the game, not live the game. That is a brilliant way to describe it. I'm not going to try and say your name. I am going to try and say your name. Bulent Emre Yasal. Have I tried Doom 4? No, but I'm going to. Absolutely going to. Yeah, what was I saying? So this is everything about the main quest is just a pain in the backside for a replay. It's a royal pain. Just think of that. When you get to Diamond City, you're forced to have the conversation about my son. You can't get Nick as a companion without doing the whole my son conversation. It's going to be very, very hard for someone to create a live another life mod. See, that's why I'm thinking what we need is a live another life mod. Now, if you think about that mod for Fallout 3, you could play something that wasn't the Vault Dweller, but every now and again, the main quest would kind of remind you that you were a Vault Dweller, and you'd hear Three Dogs doing his messages about you being the Vault Dweller. But overall, the vast majority of things, it made no difference. Same in Fallout New Vegas. The main quest didn't necessarily keep thumping away at everything you did. Fallout 4, it does. So, I wonder if Gopher uses snooze. No, Gopher does not. So there you go. The linear model fit is subs count. It looks like you'll get 1 million subs in about 3 years. Let's hope for an exponential model instead. No, generally, Dalatas, it's actually not good to do linear progression on subs because they tend to go down. They tend to actually go down with time. So it curves. It's more of a logarithmic rather than exponential. So it's probably way off if I ever make 1 million subs. I think really the only way I would make 1 million subs is if we had another game Skyrim-esque in nature and the modding community, hit the ground running, and we got that golden period. I was sort of hoping I might get a bit of a boost from Fallout 4. I was. I'm not, I'm not destroyed over the fact that I didn't, but that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping there would be a little bit of an upswing, an uptake. But the modding community has been... Well, it's not even like the modding community hasn't created stuff, but it doesn't feel like there's the same massive wave of new people to the modding community. I get this feeling that most of the people on the Fallout 4 modding, on the Nexus, downloading mods, are the same people as for Skyrim. I don't know whether that's me imagining it, but I don't feel like there's this massive wave like there was with Skyrim. With Skyrim, we got so many new people. So many new people. And, you go, Beginner's Guide to Modding Skyrim was really popular. Beginner's Guide to Modding Fallout 4, if I was to release that in, say, the next 3 or 4 months, I'm not totally sure how many people would actually need it, because there's kind of, mods for consoles. Now that could be an area that could get a new lease of life. But I'm not, from my perspective, to think about subscriber counts, that's an ego thing, but in actual fact, for the health of the channel, it's more about views and watch time and engagement. So, believe it or not, it's less about what your subscriber count is and all the people who are, paying attention to what you're doing but not necessarily watching it, and it's more about the people who are actually consuming your content, which is you guys, the patrons, and of course the viewers of my Let's Plays and my mod videos. So those guys, you guys probably listen to this in the video on demand as well later on. Basically, it's you guys that make the channel work, not the subscriber count. So could we do this once a month if time allows? I would love to do that. I would love to do that. It's really just a question of time. I've not done very much live streaming since Fallout 4 came out, precisely because Fallout 4 came out. So what are my thoughts on Elder Scrolls Legends? I don't actually have any. Has YouTube Red helped? Yes, it's boosted by about 5%, which it's nothing to sniff at. I think when it goes international, it could make maybe 10%, 15% difference. Because half my viewers are American, that's for sure. But I actually think that quite a lot of people in Europe would go with YouTube Red. How does Twitch subs help? Twitch subs helps a little. Not even close to patrons, though. I mean, that should be expected anyway. Partly because of the sheer percentage of the money you get from Patreon compared to Twitch. You only get a small percentage of the money from Twitch. So, but have I ever read The Blood Meridian or Evening Redress in the West by Cormac McCarthy? I don't think so. My voice is a bit low, is it? Well, that's a bit weird because I'm looking at it and I see what you're saying. I'm going to boost it a bit. It almost feels like, oh God. I've just doubled the volume. Are you actually? It just looks like at the moment the voice volume is almost ignoring the volume control. Anyway. YouTube Red is out. Yeah, oh God, I would love to buy YouTube Red. Get rid of ads. Oh God, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. What is YouTube Red? YouTube Red is essentially the Netflix model for YouTube. You pay $9.99 a month and you get, well, you get a lot of things. You get the ability to download the video onto an app and watch it on your mobile later. So you could watch an hour-long episode of my Let's Plays. You could actually download 2 or 3 of them onto your app, on your phone and then watch them on the train or that type of stuff. It gives you access to the music library they've got, which apparently is quite big, and it gives you some other things. But the key thing is it's a totally ad-free experience. Totally ad-free experience. You don't need to use ad blocker. YouTube Red, you pay your $9.99 a month and you watch without ads. It's just, I'll do it just for the ads alone. Get rid of the ads. I don't use ad blocker because obviously, as a content creator myself, I appreciate that the people I'm consuming content from want to earn a living as well, so I don't. But oh my God, the instant that comes out, I'll be using it. It's the same price, more or less, as Netflix. It is. The thing is, P squared, I probably consume 50 times more YouTube content than Netflix. Actually, that's not true, but 10 times more. I actually watch quite a lot of Netflix. Now, Netflix and YouTube make up 99% of my leisure viewing material. Just finished Daredevil Season 2. God, that's a great series. That is a great series. Yeah. I mean, I get it. $10 does sound like a lot of money. And most people look at it and think, yeah, but Netflix is the same and Netflix has got higher production value. And I suppose that is true. But I consume 10 times more content on YouTube. I really do. I get a lot of news from YouTube. I get a lot of gaming news from YouTube. A lot of other things from YouTube. Have I seen Jessica Jones? Yes, that was awesome. I thought Kilgrave was amazing. It's so weird to see the same actor as played Doctor Who play a character that's so very different. So very different. So, yeah. I'm even enjoying The Flash and The Arrow, but they seem a little childish compared to Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Those are superb series. Do you think there's going to be a Punisher series on Netflix? You think, why not? Why not? Yeah, spin off. That I would watch as well. I don't know who it is who plays the Punisher. I recognize him from somewhere. He vaguely looks like the guy who was in Walking Dead. I'm not sure he is, but he vaguely looks like that guy. But he was amazingly good. Do you know how they divide YouTube? Gopher. Yes, I do. They divide YouTube Red by minutes watched, which is a little unfair to channels that create short form content. But believe it or not, actually works well for people like me. People who make long form content generally do better out of it. What we want is to be able to pay subscribe to your channel and not just to everyone else on YouTube. There is an option to do that, but it would mean no one else could watch my stuff. It is him. It's the guy from The Walking Dead. It is the guy from The Walking Dead. He is incredible as Frank Castle. I thought he was so good. I thought he was so good. It really was. Arrow's first season was a lot more mature. Yeah, in the first season he was a bit of a killer, wasn't he? Yes. Did I have difficulties with Pleasant UI? Oh, yes, I did. For Automatron. I removed it. Oh, well, if he does a Punisher series, I'm going to watch that. Definitely. Definitely. How does the thumbs down bar affect content creators on YouTube? Not really any more than thumbs up does. It's about engagement. Believe it or not, thumbs down's better than nothing at all. I don't know whether like is... Honestly, I don't really know. It doesn't affect the ads in the slightest. I don't think it affects... And I think it actually much makes your search criteria go up compared to nothing at all. any engagement. That's what YouTube are looking for when they rank things from search. So those stalkers I've got like 20 stalkers or something who just thumb down every video I make instantly without watching it. Those guys technically are helping me out because they trigger the watch and they hit the thumbs down. It is engagement of sorts. But yeah, people who watch the videos are way more important. Oddly enough, although when you hit the like button, I like that. That makes me feel good. Watching the entire video does miles more for me than the thumb up. So for those of you who are listening to this either in the live stream or the video on demand afterwards and thinking to yourself, oh God, I always forget to do the thumb up. I should remember to do that. Well, it's nice when you do that because it makes me a little happier. It's always nice to see lots of thumbs up, hands down. There's no way you can deny it. When people give you a thumbs up, you think, yay! But watching my content is what actually works for me. That's the thing that raises me up on the search engine, and that's also the thing that brings in the revenue from adverts. Because obviously, if you watch a full 1 hour thing, you get the adverts for those. That's what. So. And it sounds kind of corny, but the best thing you can do to help me out on YouTube is to watch my videos. It's a symbiotic relationship in that, I guess. Why do you think people randomly downvote all your content? Because the internet. Because you're always going to annoy someone. I'll be there's someone who's I get random hate on even things like the SKSE video. Or my tutorials on how to enable mods for Fallout 4. I got one video that's 2.5 minutes long, and someone the other day came along and basically I don't know. I think every other word was a swear word to say this 2.5 minute video was way too long. He spent longer writing the comment than it would have taken to read the comment. It was just random hate about how long it took me to show him something. And there are people like that, and then you block them or whatever, and then they just come back and keep thumbing down to let you know that they don't like you. It's for some people, it's their goal in life just to let you know they don't like you. I don't know why. How much do you think people using ad blocker affects you? Well, if they use ad blocker, I don't get anything from it. If they use ad blocker, it's as if they're not there, basically. The view counts, and it goes on my statistics. But obviously I don't earn revenue from it, and YouTube does not classify that as, they classify it as watched time. I get reported on it, but when they rank where I am on the search engine, they ignore that. They've got no interest in people who are watching with ad blocker for obvious reasons. I mean, why would they care? If you're watching their stuff for free and they're earning no money on you, they're not really going to care about you, are they? Is the new UI heads and shoulders above what it was? Jeremy Rhymes, that comment just got blocked. I have a list of words that basically, any comments that have those words get put in a holding list for my approval. And one of those words is suck. So when you said suck, in this case you were saying because these people who downvote suck, the comment gets registered for approval. I've got a few words like that, and the reason I have those is I have noticed from experience that there are certain words that in 99.999% of times are flame war. And the word retard and the word suck are the most common words in any post where the person posting is really just trying to cause trouble. Believe it or not, those two words, even though you can use the word retard in a scientific manner and the word suck could mean things that are not insulting, you'd be stunned how often that does not happen. When people use those words, it's usually a flame war. So you've been, Canaanite Heretic, yeah, that gets blocked as well. The blacklist is pretty damned good. So there are certain words that I just put through to my get for approval list, because very often it's someone trying to cause trouble. The other thing for it is when those words come up, I don't have to read those comments. I say that I put them for approval. I never check the approval list. I never do. I probably should, because some comments get caught up on the approval list for posting certain links. And I probably should actually check it. But I just have, basically, I don't check the list. I never need to. Every now and again, I go and have a look to see, you know, and they'll be like, 5,000 comments for review, and you go through them very quickly, and it's like, my God, your videos suck, you are such a retard, kill yourself. You think, I'm so glad I've got that filter. Oh, I barely use those words, and usually not in a negative sense. Okay, you can use those words, you can. It's staggering how often that does not happen on a comment section. In a chat like this, or on Twitch, yeah. In comment section, like, for example, you might imagine lots of people are saying Fallout 4 sucks. Actually, people don't say that. They really don't. People don't ever use the word retard when talking about the game. There are some other harsh words that I have banned. Believe it or not the usual swear words. So please don't be trying to do random swear words, because in fact, most of the swear words I've allowed through. I've just got a few words on the list that I've noticed of used by people who are trying to cause trouble. Have I ever played Disc Gaia? Nope. What about some tabletop simulators with some minions? I'd love to do that. Fallout 4 sucks. So it's let that through. Why is it not blocked that? How's the website going? Website's going great. Thanks very much, Quadico. I think it's going great. Isn't it going great? Is there something I should know? What about... Yeah, so... You can't even use the word vans. Yeah, as I said, it's not that I'm blocking words that are swearing. It's just I basically did a bit of a study of the comments certain people were using. There's certain people who appeared on my comment sections every single video, 2 and 3 comments per video, basically criticizing either me or other people in the comments or the game, and using terminology that was really aimed to annoy the living daylights out of anyone reading it. And I'd go on and check their comment history, and you would see repeated patterns of certain words. And so what I started doing was finding those words and putting them on this catch-all filter to see if those people got blocked out of my vision and I stopped seeing them. And sure enough, it worked like a charm. And it never seemed to catch people who were making good, you know, like... I mean, try to think of some way of using the word retard without it being a flame war. No one ever does it. Sucks, maybe, you know. You're trying to suck the venom out of the victim, then maybe. But nobody does. Nobody ever says it. So I don't mind you using swear words. I kind of wish you wouldn't in the chat exactly, because this is a little more personal. And it's not that I'm bothered by it, because I'm not. But I think it's all about moderation, really. The old swear word's not going to particularly offend anyone, but occasionally you'll see someone who just comes along and it's just one long line of expletives, and it's like... I meant to say, is the new Witcher UI head and shoulders above what it was? It is better. It is better, but the UI wasn't that bad. But it is better. The new UI looks like it's going to be a lot better. The heads-up display is identical though, so no real different there. People are actually testing the block filter. Have I seen BethNet's block list? You can't use words like Joyce, Scrappable, Fist, or Flamer. Really? I don't like Bethesda Net. I've got no control over the comments that go on the on the mods I've posted there. None. It's kind of annoying. The pacing of Fallout 4. Sucks. Ah, right. Simply shows lack of vocabulary and imagination. I'm not sure it does. No, I would disagree with that, Amy Blue Sky. I think people can use swear words even though they have a massive vocabulary and a great imagination, and they can use those swear words in a way that is pretty amusing. I mean, if you listen to someone like George Carlin or even people like Billy Connolly, those type of guys, they will swear so much, and yet they're saying some very, very intelligent things. It's, you know, having a large vocabulary and swearing are not mutually exclusive things, but it's all about how you do it, isn't it? It's all about how you do it. Am I playing Overwatch on Tuesday? Is that when it's out? Oh, maybe. Bethesda Net is hilarious. Can't even mention some perks in Fallout 4. Yeah, they're commercial, though. They've got to keep things very, very clean. They've got to keep things very clean, though. I mean, they have to. Sometimes things just call for really nasty obscenity nothing else will do. Perhaps. I think sometimes it actually has more impact when you don't swear. Question, do you have a history with Blizzard as an older PC gamer? I have plenty of the PC. Oh, I used to play... Blizzard made Warcraft, didn't they? I was there for Warcraft and Warcraft 2. I never played StarCraft. I played StarCraft 2. But Warcraft, God, yeah, I loved that game. You've got a spider in your postbox, Quadico. She wants to know why I don't want to go to Australia. Have I updated Valdekil's item sorting and AWKCR to the DLC supporting versions? I updated a couple of days ago to the latest versions. Far Harbor came out yesterday, so there's probably going to have to be another version for Far Harbor. I will do that. Sorry, I'm not responding because I'm reading the chat. The only time I swear is when my PC slows down to a snail's pace. Does that happen often? No, that's the big question, isn't it? Oh. There's no spiders at PAX Australia. I don't believe you. You think Jack should swear? Maybe. I think it's better that he doesn't. Australia's awesome. Don't be a hater. I don't hate Australia. I hate spiders and snakes and crocodiles and scorpions and anything poisonous. And I don't like hot weather either. Or swamps. Kangaroos look okay, but at a distance. And koala bears, again at a distance. Apart from that, sounds like a nice place. Will you roleplay Skywind? Probably. You actually tried Hearthstone, but since I used to play Magic, it just makes me want to go back. I haven't played Hearthstone. Do I have arachnophobia? No. Arachnophobia is an irrational fear of spiders. I actually don't mind little spiders here. I'm the one that has to catch them in the house. My fear of spiders in Australia is not irrational. It is not a phobia. It is not an irrational fear. They have some of the most deadly spiders in the world. It's not irrational in the slightest. I have a fear of things with poisonous fangs, okay? Australia is a big country, plenty of room for gophers. No, let me tell you something, right? As somebody who attracts every household pet, even though he does not want to get cozy with the pet, right? Spiders would find me. I'm that person. I go to someone's house, the cat comes and sits on my lap. It knows that secretly I'm thinking of making it into a kebab if the owner leaves the room. It knows it. It knows this person would like to kill me, so I'm going to go and sit on his lap, and I'm going to dig my claws in, and I'm going to smile. And the instant my owner stands up, I'm going to get off again because I'm not stupid. Did I get physical Gwent cards? I did. I've not opened them yet. I don't actually... You know what? Stay there. You can't see this because I don't have a camera. I got... Right, what have I got? I got a box with a limited edition Gwent set. Someone said I should give this away, and my first thought was, real? I think it's only got 2 decks in it. It's got Monster Deck and Skytal, by the looks of things. It looks like it's big enough to have three of these decks in it. And then, and am I a Trekkie? Yes. And I've got the Nilfgaard deck, and then I've got another one. I think this is Temeria. That would be Northern Realms, wouldn't it? That would be Northern Realms. The 3-pronged thing. That's Temeria. Northern Realms? I think it is. So they gave me this as a package. Make eye contact with the cat. It'll leave you alone. No. I can stare at them. I can glare at them. I can bare my teeth to them. I can growl at them, and they just stare back. They always leave when the owner leaves, but... Got a bottle of wine in there as well. So, anyway, guys, I've gone on way longer than intended. It's an hour and a half. I was only supposed to do an hour, and I started half an hour late. I'm going to go and check my kids are in bed. I was supposed to be doing some game playing with my eldest, but I think it might be too late. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go and check because it's our game evening. But everything was a bit chaotic out there, so... Did I get a t-shirt? I did, but it's too small. I keep forgetting Italian sizes are a little smaller than European sizes. That's what size I wanted. I said, I want large, and got that. And I'm like, okay, next time I'll ask for extra large, shall I? A lot of small people in Italy. Let's do this more often. You know, I'm going to try. I am going to try. Definitely going to try. So, anyway, guys, thank you. So, no more stream today. No, shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. I doubt it. It depends on what's going on out there. But I'm going to go and see if my family are ready to play some board games. It's 10:30 though. She's probably knackered. She was out with a friend till quite late. So, yes. Thank you for joining me for the stream. And of course, guys, thank you very much for supporting me. You are the reason that this channel continues, to be honest. Without you, this would be tough, let's say. Let's say this would be very, very tough. I'd probably have to be doing some stuff on the side, which would mean less content, a lot less content. I would probably have to do something on the side, almost certainly. So, you guys are what make this possible. So a big thank you to you. And I will try and get this arranged more frequently. I probably should do this sort of thing instead of like the late night rambles that I do all the time. You guys should join me. If you don't do it, you should join me on Twitch. And anyway, because I stream reasonably often there. So, but I should do my rambles in a more organized manner. I really should, like this. I usually end up playing like XCOM for 2 hours and then rambling for 2 hours. It's not very organized. So, yes, there will be a Sunday stream, at least at the moment. That's my plan. And beyond that, I can't say when there will be streams. They will be over on Twitch, obviously. This is a good way. YouTube is a good way to have these unlisted streams where we can limit it to just patrons, and I can't tell you how much easier it is to follow the chat when there are a limited number of people. It really is a lot easier. We've got, is it about 83 people or something now? 76 people. 76 people. It's so much easier on the chat. It's so much easier. So, yeah. Organized rambles. How does that work? Well, this was an organized ramble, kind of. What I mean is, I should have rambles where all I do is ramble, and then game playing sessions where all I do is play games, although I suspect that latter is a tough one for me. So, yes. Good night, guys, and hope to see you soon on another stream.